Hi, thanks again for tuning into Sin's Workshop here on YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about Little Creeping Things by Chelsea Ichaso. I really did like this book. I thought it was a good thriller. My final rating, I think I would give it 3.5 stars. Only because, you'll see why. So we're following the main character. I believe her name was Casey. Not that memorable. I guess that's another reason why I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I definitely didn't write her name down in my notes, which I really should do if I'm going to start referencing characters. But her name's not in my notes, and the fact that I can't remember her name off the tip of my head when I didn't read this book too long ago, shows you that she's not really a memorable character. However, she is a very good unreliable narrator. I say that because the opening sequence, she's playing volleyball and then she sees fire, through her peripheral, but there is no fire. She's having a memory, a flashback, and they like to intrude on her quite a lot. Ooh, that's not good. Sorry, I'm just playing with the lighting. So it does make her a really good unreliable narrator because, an incident when she was a child has deemed her a fire girl. She doesn't have that many friends, or she does have friends, but no one who sticks by her or stays by her side, because this incident when she was a kid with a fire, it took the life of her best friend, and she was probably like 8 when this happened, 7 or 8. So it really has scarred her mentally, and it has also scarred her reputation. Her family doesn't really like her either. She has an older brother who's pretty much the star of the family, and she's perfectly okay with that on some level, but she does sort of feel lonely half the time. She is bullied a lot by the school popular girl, even after this girl graduates. How pathetic is that? You've got nothing better to do than to pick on someone who's still in high school. Like, really? That's a really sad life. So that's just my 2 cents on that. And the bully's name I remember. It's Molly, of all things. Molly? Maddie? Okay, take the bad. Maybe I don't remember. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different book where the character's name is Maddie. We're gonna go with Molly. But anyway, that's one of the reasons why I have to give it just 3.5 stars, not really the 4-star push, because these characters, they're not really memorable. Like I said, she's like this cliche bully who has nothing better to do with her life than to continue bullying someone who's still in high school. It's like, you graduated, get over yourself. You really have nothing better to do with your life. And as for the main protagonist, she's a good and reliable narrator because she's haunted by this incident when she was fast, and she's haunted by Molly's disappearance because she wrote out the perfect way to get away with murder regarding Molly. Perfect way. And then it's happening. Her perfect plan that she only shared with one person, it's playing out that exact same way. So she's letting her paranoia get to her. She wants to save Molly because she's not a bad person inside. The main protagonist, she's not a bad person, so she doesn't really want to kill Molly. She wrote out that plan, when she was drunk and feeling bitter and unwanted. So it was a spur of the moment sort of thing that she shared with someone because she felt like she was able to connect with this other person. But now that it's happening, she has nothing but regret. She wants to save her bully. But her paranoia gets the better of her. Instead of just sharing the truth with her best friend who has stood by her entire life, she just she's like, no, we have to do this. And he's like, why? He's like, so she was there with some guy, so what? She's like, and she's not telling the truth. She's not being honest because, there's the stigma around her because she is this fire girl. But that kind of makes her annoying because it's like, just tell the truth. Just be honest, and maybe she would have lived. Spoiler alert, yeah, bully dies. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes in the story to create tension. But a lot of it are those classic cliche tropes of her not being completely honest with people. So, of course, the things that happen are going to happen. It's a formula for a story. And it doesn't really allow the characters to be that compelling or that memorable. And that's kind of the downside of the novel. Now, that being said, the pacing of the novel is really well done. It does flow, it does keep up the momentum, and it does help create an engaging story at the end of the day. Because there's lots of, and I'll say this about Ichaso, she's really good at misdirection. She creates the obvious red herring, multiple red herrings, You know who it isn't. However, the author has you second guessing yourself as to who it is. Is it this person? Is it this person? Is it this person? And at the end, it was someone I didn't suspect at all. He wasn't even on my radar of suspicion. So I thought that was really clever, and I thought that was really well done. You unveil the killer, and it's something I personally didn't see coming because this character wasn't even on my radar as far as suspicions go. I had this person on my radar and this person on my radar. I was looking at the red herrings because there was lots of going back to the red herrings, but you're like, nah, it can't be that person. It's too obvious to be that person. And I think that's what's really key in this novel and why it is a good novel at the end of the day, because you're not expecting it. It does keep the suspense up. It does keep the mystery up. And sorry, I need my morning coffee. And it does allow the reader to be engaged in the story. It does make the reader eager to see where the story is going and how it's going to go that way. It has that formula. It follows that formula with the characters. Unreliable narrator who is paranoid of her stigma, who doesn't trust anyone, even the people she should trust. She doesn't open herself up. She has these walls all around her. So there's lots of blackmail going on, and it's all well written. It is styled in a way to keep the story flowing. There aren't pieces that jump. It does do history and backflash scenes really well done, really well, so it doesn't break up the story. And I think that's key in making a good mystery novel, a mystery thriller, especially when that's a young adult thriller. And once again, that ending kind of threw me through a loop. It was really unsuspecting to see this character. You're like, what? And it's completely, for me, it was just out of left field, but it worked. It wasn't so out in left field that it just didn't fit with the story. In hindsight, there are these tiny little details throughout the novel that kind of point to this character, but you don't see these tiny little details until you get to the end, and then you want to go back and reread it to look for those hints that this person is the killer, this person is the blackmailer, this person is the villain. So that's what makes it a good story, that it makes you want to reread it so you can see that ending coming, because initially you don't see it coming, and that's also a good thing about the story. You don't see it coming, kind of just comes out of nowhere, but it fits in the story. I hate those endings. You're like, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. What are you even doing? You know, I hate those stories because you're just like, that doesn't even fit with anything that's going on. Whereas this ending, it did fit with the progression of the story and the development of the story, and it did fit with the tension. And that's something that I appreciated about the novel. So once again, this was Little Creeping Things by Chelsea Ichaso. Check it out from your local library or purchase the book from your local bookseller. Please remember to support your local bookseller and not just purchase the book off of Amazon. Because, well, Amazon's got enough business. It's the bookstores that need it even more. And again, good story, forgettable characters, but there is a great amount of tension in it overall, and the ending is unexpected and will make you want to reread the story because it fits and you want to see the details. You want to see those tiny little details that hint that this person is the villain at the end of the day. So go ahead, check it out. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.